Pac-12 Conference, you're in dire straits. Instead of offering my services at the going market rate for negotiations, I give you this free advice. Welcome to the Voice of College Football. Please subscribe, like the videos, even if you don't agree with me. If you enjoy the best discussion, debate, and analysis based on your participation, please like the video. All right, we know that the Pac-12 is looking for a quality media rights deal. They are trying to maintain their partnerships with the existing powers, ESPN and Fox, but they're also going to the likes of the less traditional, the streaming, the future of Amazon, Apple. We've even seen Ion TV in recent weeks. All right, Pac-12, this is what I would do if I were you. Let's also consider, first and foremost, that we've got a 12-team league if San Diego State and SMU jump on board and if the Pac-12 is able to maintain its current membership. So, during the conference season, the Pac-12 has 6 games to sell each and every week if everybody's playing within the conference. At the beginning of the season, obviously, when everyone's playing out-of-conference games, you've got as many as 12 games to sell and slot in television or a streaming device each and every week. This is the way I would do it. This would be my number one sell. This would be my number one priority in getting a media rights deal. Friday night. Pac-12, take Friday night and take it in a big, big way. Of course, because you've waited. And the Big 12 has come in with a $31.6 million per team media rights contract into the future. And from all sources, we understand the Pac-12 could have had a similar deal back in the fall of 2022, but is in this particular situation. Saturday's locked up for the most part until late night, and we'll get to that in just a second. Pac-12, take football property. College football fans are waiting all week for Saturday. But guess what? Friday arrives before Saturday. So Power 5 conference fans. So most of college football fans are interested in the Power 5. Certainly they're most interested in their team, their rivals, their conference. But if you spread it out, they then want to get the national picture. They want to see those teams that are competing for playoff spots in other conferences. And there's no way that a fan in the Big Ten or the SEC is going to go to the Pac-12 on Saturday because it's just not going to be as relevant as watching teams within their own conference and then going to other power elite conferences, i.e. the Big Ten and the SEC. And then now we also, of course, have a bolstered Big 12 with the 4 newcomers. And then we've got the ACC with a top-heavy Clemson, Florida State, Miami, etc. All right, so Pac-12, you need to get the market share that you can possibly get with your best teams playing at a different time. And that's on Friday night. And not just Friday night, capture Friday. Triple header Pac-12 action on a Friday. This is what it would look like. Go to ESPN, go to Fox, and hopefully you get on one network. But if you've got to split it up, hey, you've got to split it up. ESPN has NBA. I believe they still have the NBA on Friday night. So if you've got to go to ESPN2, that's not optimum because there's a huge, significant drop-off. Even if you've got the same product, the same game on ESPN2, which has a very like distribution rate, meaning it's in just about as many homes as ESPN, but there is still a cachet to ESPN versus ESPN2. The research has played this out over and over and over that we know that people just generally watch ESPN more than they watch ESPN2, even if it's the same game or a more quality game on ESPN2. So you desperately want that ESPN spot. But ESPN, to a certain extent, I know is tied to the NBA on Friday night. So you may have to do an ESPN-Fox combination. That could also be to your advantage, being on both networks on a Friday night. But I'm talking triple header here. 5 o'clock Eastern time, kickoff. 8 o'clock, kickoff, prime time. And then, of course, the late night at 11 o'clock Eastern time. So you're going 5, 8, and 11 on some combination of ESPN and Fox on Friday night with your biggest games. You got to go with the biggest games and sell those networks on not Washington State, Oregon State, but your best and biggest games. A ton of Oregon, Washington, and Utah in particular. Now let's go to our Thursday night model. And of course, the NFL has owned Thursday night for a long, long time But there has been college football played on Thursday night. Many games on the likes of ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, also on Fox on Thursday nights. Also, we've seen on Thursday night CBS Sportsnet and other networks air college football on Thursday night. So it is viable. But to get the best ratings boost on a Thursday night, this is what you're going to do. Pac-12, you're going to play early. The NFL kicks off around 8:15 or 8:20 Eastern time. So Pac-12, you're going to play at 6:30 Eastern time. I will credit a viewer that called me the other day because I had the same idea and have for years, actually, for the Pac-12 or whatever conference wanted to take advantage of NFL night, but do it early, kick off at 7 o'clock. But a viewer said the other day 6:30. So you know what? We'll go with 6:30 because that takes us deep into the third quarter by the time the NFL kicks off. And if you love football, and if you love good football, and let's say you even prefer the NFL over college football and certainly the Pac-12, and you really want to watch the game at 8:20, but you know what? Washington State, Oregon, it's 41-37 in the fourth quarter. You know what? I can miss the first 5 minutes or even first quarter of an NFL team and watch the other 3 quarters or put them on 2 screens. People are watching on 2 screens these days. People are also DVRing. So what I would do is either watch on 2 screens or I would DVR one of the games, the NFL game at 8 o'clock, and that can easily be caught up with when you watch a 3.5-hour NFL game. So I'm watching the Pac-12 game. It's a great game. It's 41-37 in the fourth quarter. The NFL's kicking off. Yeah, I'd rather watch that game, but man, this is a great Pac-12 game. I'm going to watch the conclusion of this game. I'm going to DVR the beginning of the NFL game. I'll catch up with it. Not an issue. Or I got 2 screens. We're all set. Pac-12 kickoff Thursday night at 6:30 Eastern time. Also, keep in mind that you've got other options. They are the MACtion options, of course. So the MAC conference decided, of course, that they would take hold of Tuesday and Wednesday nights, that there was no way that they could possibly compete with Power 5 conference play, and even most of the Group of 5, Mountain West and American Conference, Conference USA, they are not as good as those conferences. That MAC decided, hey, Tuesday and Wednesday night, we're playing football, because people that are starved for football, that'll watch football above anything else at any time, they're going to flip us on Tuesday and Wednesday night. It's apparently worked. I don't know what the ratings are, but it's apparently worked because MACtion has been going on now for a decade or so, playing on Tuesday and Wednesday night. So you know what, Pac-12, you're a better conference by far than the MAC. So consider, it seems a little clownish as trying to maintain Power 5 status and give the look of a Power 5 that, shoot, we play on Saturday. That's the only time we play a selected Thursday or Friday game at times, but we play on Saturday because we're big boy football and we're among the elite. But you know what? Desperate times call for desperate measures, and it may be time for a Tuesday or Wednesday night. Also, we'll take into consideration the streaming services, and this is a good thing. Some people look at this as a negative. Oh, you got to go on a streaming service. Yes, if that's all you've got is going forward on a streaming service, yes, you cannot move your entire footprint of fan bases to streaming services, but it should be a component going forward. The NFL's on Amazon on Thursday night. And of course, this is the wave of the future. People making their own selections. And certainly they're not making selections on live football games. They're making selections on the shows that they like to watch when they like to watch them. But that means that they are on those streaming services already. So you can provide that on Apple/Amazon. When it comes to some of these oddball networks like ION, I think the Pac-12 just needs to make a comparison between what they offer on the Pac-12 network and ION. So if they can make more money from a deal with like an ION, and I don't know who else is out there, we can kid about maybe MTV2 or somebody out there that would pick up Pac-12 games. Okay, you got to basically measure the exposure that you're going to get on those networks and what type of promotion are they going to provide you throughout the week, and measure that revenue and that value versus what you're going to gain in posting your own games on your own network, the Pac-12 network. But at the very least, you need a double header on the Pac-12 network every week. You can't be showing soccer and all these other fall sports on a Saturday afternoon. You got to show your sport. Football on Saturday afternoon, at least a doubleheader on the Pac-12 network. And certainly there's enough inventory that if you run out of inventory, like some of the bigger networks do, the Big Ten Network, the SEC Network, later in the season, and you're only showing 1 or 2 games, that's a good problem to have. And I don't think that's a problem for the Pac-12. So they're going to have plenty of inventory on a Saturday afternoon for the Pac-12 network. And I would advise at least a doubleheader, if not a triple header. And if you look at all the time spots and the time slots, I should say, during a college football Saturday, you've got 4 time slots, but let's not make those poor kids play at 9 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. So that would be at 3 Eastern, 6 Eastern, 9 Eastern, or 4, 7, and 10 most likely. So a triple header of Pac-12 football on the Pac-12 network every Saturday. So that's what I've got for you, Pac Conference. Those are the negotiation strategies that I've got to deliver. Load up on Friday night. Deliver your best shot to ESPN/Fox. You've been partners with ESPN, meaning ABC, going all the way back to at least the 1960s. So keep the partnership alive. Sell them Friday night, and even if you've got to work around the NBA, go to Fox, have a combination deal on Friday. But get your football on Friday. Football fans are starved for Saturday, and they can't wait, so they're going to watch you on Friday with major college football, meaning Power 5 football, over what they can get from ESPN with Conference USA, the American Conference, and the like on Friday. Let's do it, Pac, and let's lock it in right here at the Voice of College Football.